Hey guys, podcast listeners, welcome. YouTube viewers, welcome. And our live friends on Facebook, what's up? We are, and if you are not listening live and want to listen live, just join Facebook. We go live every, what are we at? Wednesday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. That's how you join the party. And if you are live with us, or even if you're not live, if you don't follow us on Instagram, you can follow us on Instagram. And we have coaches that kind of check that stuff out. So if you have a question there and need some help one-on-one, you can jump in with a coach. And they give gifts. They've got like offers and content and a bunch of free stuff they can give you. So I don't think I have anything to sell you, but they do have free stuff they can give you and lots of help. So check out, follow us on Instagram. It's free. We've got coaches that kind of peruse and make sure, in the comments. So bunch of free stuff. If you need help other than me just screaming at you, Instagram is a great place to go, or our Facebook group, of course. All right. That said, I think we're doing an AMA. We're doing an Ask Me Anything, Ask Mike Anything. Is that the case, Lindsay?
Yeah, we had a lot of random questions left over and some new questions coming in. And I was like, let's just open this up to an Ask Me Anything. So yeah, that's what we're going to do today.
Cool. So Lindsay likes typically doing a fancy theme and a whole situation. This will be a good freestyle. And I'll do my best because usually we answer two or three questions kind of in depth. I'll see if I can't do like 4 or 5 a little more quickly. We'll see how it works out.
All right. So this first one, I don't know if it's going to be a quick one, but let's try it.
They never are.
All right. So this came in last week, actually, from the Green Home on Facebook. I didn't catch their name. Sorry, Green Home. You got to give me your names. Green Home said, I need to learn how to create a hiring funnel. I'm tired of taking 3 steps forward and 4 steps back. What is a hiring funnel? How do I start? Help.
Great question. So this is what we actually help our clients do, but I'm going to do everything I can do to help you do it on your own. So the big thing we've got to learn is, I shouldn't say the big thing we've got to learn. The foundation of the hiring funnel is it's handled by your cleaners for your cleaners. So this is something you should set in motion, and then step back and let your cleaners hire the next cleaners. Not only hire, but train, inspect each other's work. So you should create systems where it's a closed loop deal where the cleaners are hiring, training, inspecting each other's work, and you just kind of manage the system and the culture and let the cleaners do the work. So that's the big picture answer. The smaller, more granular answers, it's a 3-step process. Well, really 4 steps. So the first thing you need is traffic. Indeed is a great traffic source. Sometimes if you're local, but people get fired up on the traffic. Any traffic source where people are looking for a job is fine. Again, right now Indeed's working well, but that's not the magic. The magic comes in with the ad, or the whole process being core values based. So if we're really going to do this right, you need to make sure you're clear on your core values, and the entire process speaks to them, right? So the ad, most people are going to run an ad that's all about the pay and how many pounds you have to be able to lift and the type of jobs and the hours and just a bunch of detail oriented stuff. But the problem is then they're just going to be looking for the best pay for the least hours and like the most fun job. And that's not a competition you're going to be able to win. So you want, like for us, our core values are have fun, make money, be real, and help out. So my headline might be, do you love helping other human beings? And then the ad, if you love working with people and just being real and being who you are and not have to put on a mask, this might be the job for you. If you like having fun at work, but you still value making money, this might be the place for you. If you help out on your spare time and you'd love to get paid for it, this might be for you. And then the opposite, so would be, this isn't for you if you're a pain in the butt, you like fake and you don't really want to be a part of a business. You just want to get a paycheck and go home, and you're not down with the cause. You don't care about the other people. You just want to get paid. No problem. This just isn't for you. So you start with a core values based hiring ad. You have it running all the time. The big mistake people make is they turn it off and on. I need a hiring ad, so I'm going to turn it on. I quote unquote don't need people, which is the death of anyone in the cleaning company. You always need to be top grading, if not hiring. So they turn it off. So you have your ad running all the time, and you've got your funnel running all the time. Ad goes to a group interview with automated, text and email reminders. The cleaners run the group interview. The people that are qualified come to the one-on-one interview. The people that are qualified for that go to a group working interview. And spoiler alert, the way that you graduate out of the working interview is you train the next guy. So that is a big overview. It's about as quick as I can make it. But that's, and again, you don't have to use that exact hiring funnel. We've just been doing this for a decade. We know that hiring funnel works extremely well in the cleaning space. Did that answer the question, Lindsay? I feel like it went real fast, but I hopefully answered half of it.
I think it was really good, Mike. Yeah, I think just people get hung up on the words hiring and then the word, well, not the word hiring, but the word funnel. I think that just throws people off sometimes. So that made sense. Yeah, really good for a big topic in only 5 minutes. You did great. All right. So the next one up, Grace. Grace from Facebook sent me this message and she said, in one of his books, Mike says, whatever your product or service, someone is charging at least 10 times more than what you are charging. Grace says, I understand that, but she put this in all caps. How do you get to that standard? What are the options? What are the action steps to get there?
Love that question. Such a good question. So the example, I'll give you a couple examples I've used, and then we'll apply it to cleaning. So I try to think of a couple just very commoditized things, and I came up with headphones because back in the day, every time you bought, maybe still, you buy an iPhone or something, it comes with literally a free pair of headphones, right? Or we can even use pens, right? I don't know about you. I think pens are free. I got 100 at my house, would never use them. I feel like if you built a house brand new and moved in, there'd be like 12 pens in there. Like they're literally free. And yet you could get a Mont Blanc pen and that would be $200-300, and you can get a fancier pen that might be $10,000. You could get the pen that George Washington used to sign the Declaration of Independence. If that's still in existence, that would be $1 million, right? Same with headphones; they can go free. You can Apple made $1 billion industry just on AirPods that are $300-400 that go in your ears. You can bedazzle them. Dr. Dre sold them. He sold his thing for $1 billion. So when it comes to clean, we're like, what about cleaning? I looked it up. I did car washes, right? You can, I don't know if they still have them, but the little like concrete structures where you put like quarters in the little machine and the hose works for like 3 minutes or something. That's cheap. $2 or whatever. I don't know, maybe inflation, maybe it's $4 now. Or you could drive through some like automated situation and that's $7. Unless you want the tire shine, that's $12. Unless you want the tire shine with a hand wipe down, that's $14. Or you could go get someone to wash it by hand, and that might be $50. Or you can get someone to detail, and that might be $500. Or there's places that'll detail high end Ferraris and stuff that might be $50,000. And believe it or not, they have waiting lists. So the same thing goes with cleaning. You could just be a dude with a mop and a bucket and have some hope. You could have people that are trained and have uniforms. You could be people that do cleaning and also do pest control and snow removal and pool cleaning and landscaping and HVAC. You could do it with people who are certified. You could do it on the commercial side. You could be like, well, I do clean rooms or plastic surgery rooms. You could there's always going to be a level of, there's crazy people. And again, clean rooms are probably the best place out there where they're not interested in what it costs per month. They just know if a speck of dust gets into this, place where we make silicon chips, it's millions of dollars of cost. So for all things, you just have to find the people that have the money and find a way to solve their problems at a higher level. I had a friend of mine, don't want to get into it, but he was like Tom Cruise's virtual assistant. So if he cleaned anything, I'm guessing, or like main, like personal, whatever, because if he cleaned something, it would be worth thousands of dollars an hour because he's a special guy who's been vetted. If you want to clean at the Secret Service or the White House, I'm guessing that guy gets paid a lot. So you just have to find the right person and a bigger problem to solve. When COVID came around, people were making on the commercial side a ton of money for doing disinfecting and stuff like that with massive margins because they found the right problem to solve and they found a way to do it. So really get creative. It only has to be, I'll give you another example. It's a terrible example. Please don't do this. But I've seen, and again, I'm not into this. It's just because I'm in the industry. You can pay people to come clean females that look attractive and wear cute outfits or things like that. And I'm not recommending it. I think it's a little on the shady gross side. So please don't hear me saying that. But I do want you to get the idea juices flowing of like, okay, there's got to be a way I can add something to this. I'm going to add a different service. I'm going to have a different customer. I'm going to solve a different problem. And you can, again, whether it's car washes, pens, cleaning, you can sell it for nothing. You can sell it for a ton. That's how you get started. So find rich people and solve rich people problems, and you can always charge more. That's the easiest way to go about it. I don't know if that was super fulfilling, but I really want to give the more how to think about it than here's an exact, one to many. It's hard to give an exact strategy. Hey, Clean Nation, Mike Campion here. One of my least favorite things about these podcasts are we found that people love the show and they love the information, but when I talk to you guys in person, stuff doesn't get done. People love the podcast, but they don't take any action. If you'd like to actually implement this and get this done in your world, we have a whole team of people that do exactly that. If you go to growmycleaningcompany.com/talk, you can book a time with either myself personally or one of our teammates to at least help you come up with a plan to actually implement and change your life. So if you want to go from getting these good ideas in your head to getting in your life, just book a free call with myself or my team, growmycleaningcompany.com/talk, and we can go from this one-to-many format to one-to-one and really get you some results. Excited to talk.
All right, so we're going on to the next comment. It was in
Gosh, that gave me one other. Again, I'm just brainstorming like ways you can charge more, take less clients. Right? You could say we only take 20 clients a month and they're all $1,000 each. And we throw a wine and cheese party for them. And this is on the residential side. We throw a wine and cheese party for them. It's invitation only. You have to wait for someone to die or quit or us to open the list again. But just the exclusivity of, perfect example. I've been in several masterminds from 10 grand to the one I'm in right now is, I think, $70,000 a year. And a lot of that is just, you're like, who would pay that? That's insane. I'm like, because you're putting me in the room with other people that might have $1 million ideas. So when you have this exclusive thing, right? If you're going to just say, we only take 10 clients, we only take $5 million and up homes, maybe not 10, maybe 100 or 50, but whatever, you can limit it, charge an extreme premium, build a community amongst those people, provide above and beyond services that they wouldn't get elsewhere, where it's like, oh yeah, we take care of your air conditioning. We make sure, the filters are changed. And anytime there's a problem, you just call us and we're house managers. There's 1,000 ways that you can do it. But scarcity is a great way to go. When you're like, we only accept so many clients, you can really jack up the prices.
Love it. Love it. All right. Next up, we have a Facebook comment. It said, hey, GMCC team, Leah here. I've heard Mike say countless times that if you have a problem that requires money.
Leah's paid attention. Yay. Big hug, Leah. Proud of you.
Love it. And you have money, you don't have a problem. I hear a but coming in here. I bet you can too, Mike. But what if you have a problem that requires money, specifically advertising and marketing, and you don't have money?
Great question. I'm going to get philosophical and then because I'm a jerk, and then I'm going to actually answer the question. So if you have a problem that requires money and you have money, you don't have a problem. If it's a real problem that requires money, oftentimes you can get money to solve it. Like the best example of that be in real estate. People are always worried about, I can't afford real estate. It's like, well, if you find a $1 million house you can buy for 800 grand, I promise you money will chase that house. So if it's a real problem that's worth solving, you can almost always find the money. So that's the philosophical situation. But in the cleaning, it's like, I need marketing. I promise you, if you really need marketing, you can give someone equity in your business. You could give them a piece of it. You could say, if you bring me the clients, I'll do this. I'm not saying you should do any of that, but there's always, again, if you can take those leads and turn them into expensive, high dollar, high paying clients, you can find somebody to do the marketing with you or for you. But that said, let's assume we're not that creative and we're not thinking at that level just yet, and we need a simpler, easier solution. If you have a problem that requires money, and you don't have money, you have a problem. And that problem is you need to leverage. Really, all money does is buy other people's time. So when you say advertising and you're like, well, I want to do a Facebook ad. Well, that's not really, you're just really leveraging other people's time. Facebook has spent the last decade or so aggregating eyeballs and then selling them to other people. Billboards had just spent time getting the permits and erecting a steel thing where they could put a large sign up that would give a message that you could decide. The radio has spent a bunch of time putting up transmitters and all that. And as opposed to you putting all that up, you could just rent their transmitters. So if you're like, well, I don't have the money to do that. Well, then you're not going to be able to replace your time with their time. You're going to have to do it with your own time. So you could go to the radio and trade. Hey, if you can give me $1,000 worth of advertising and you got $1,000 worth of cleaning needs every month, let's swap. Now you're just trading your time for the money, and then you're solving the problem with money. But really all money does when it solves problems is typically buying other people's time. So if you don't have money, then you have to use time. And by the way, the more time you put in, oftentimes the less money that you need. Creativity goes a long way too. The more creative you have with your own time, the less money you need. And when you get better at marketing and better at allocating resources, You can use other people's time because you're good at allocating resources. And I know if I pay Lindsay X amount and other people on my team Y amount, their aggregate efforts can be worth more than the money I pay them. But at the beginning, I couldn't pay anyone. I had to do all that crap myself and figure it out and do it the wrong way. So you're either going to pay with time or money. Once you have money, always pay with money because you can get more money, but you can't get more time. Until you get the money, you have to pay with time. And if you want to supercharge that paying with time so you can pay with the least amount of time, spend the time learning how to get better. Abraham Lincoln said, if I had 10 hours to cut down a tree, I'd spend 10 hours sharpening my axe. Get better so you know what to do, but you're still going to have to use your time. Investing in your education, whether it's time or money, you can go to YouTube University, which will take a lot more time, right? Because there's an infinite amount of information. It's not it's not curated for you. Or you could pay someone like our team who's like, well, we'll tell you exactly what to do and how to do it and all the coaching, and that just fine. So if you're like, I don't have the money for that, well, you can just go to YouTube and it'll just take a lot longer, but you can still get it. So when you can't pay with money, pay with time. And when you can pay with money, always pay with money.
All right. Got it. Love it. And the next one, I think this person is actually in chat too. Raina left a comment, or no, she emailed in and she said, I want to know from Mike how to avoid new clients from taking advantage of you for a first time deep clean. Several times now, this has happened to me. The client agrees to biweekly or monthly services, and then after the first clean, they cancel, usually because of the price is what their reason is.
Yeah, that's such a good question. And I would really reframe the way I looked at that whole relationship. So one of the things that we encourage and coach our people to do is lower the barrier to entry, right? Guarantees are a great way to do that. So the easiest thing to do is, with the least results, is call now for a free estimate, right? There's a lot of effort and risk on your client's time. Someone's going to try and sell me something. It's going to waste my time. I won't get my problem solved, and no risk on your part. You call me and let me sell you crap on a phone I have ready. So it's a weak offer, right? And there's no risk on your part. There's a lot of risk on their end, and very few people take you up on it. You could say, call now and if you sign up for our ongoing service, you'll get a free deep clean to start. Well, now there's a little more risk on your end, and they've got a little less risk on their end. They're more likely to call. You could actually call now and say, we're so confident that you're going to love how you feel when you come home. Call now on the first 10 people to call in the next 24 hours. Now we're doing scarcity and urgency. Get absolutely free clean, no strings attached. And that you're very likely, because you've removed all the risk for them. So here's the magic. One, you've got to make sure you're working with the right people. So if you're dealing with dirtbags that can't, I shouldn't say dirtbags, if you're dealing with people of low integrity or people that can't afford your service, and there's plenty of low integrity rich people, there's plenty of high integrity poor people. So please don't hear me saying they're the same. But they can be, right? So if you're dealing with either low integrity or people that can't afford your services, doesn't matter what you do, it's the wrong client. So don't, and you can advertise those and they can call, you can just decline to work with them. And make sure you follow the laws and the rules. Obviously, if you promise to do something for everybody, but you can put asterisk, must qualify or whatever. Like, be reasonable, be cool. Don't be a jerk about it. But let's just assume you're only going to work with the people that are perfect prospects. And perfect prospects generally don't lie, cheat, or steal, and they generally can't afford your product. Now, are some of them, if you do the whole, the first 10 people get a free clean, and you give away 10 free cleans and say each free clean costs you $100, it's $1,000 in cost. But say half of them sign up for recurring services, and recurring services for your $400, $400 times 5 new clients is $2,000 a month in free services, or in new recurring work, or $24,000 a year for $1,000 one time of quote unquote free cleaning. We could focus on the 5 that quote unquote screwed you. They got their free cleaning and they didn't sign up. Or we could focus on the 5 that did sign up and that we made $24,000 in annual recurring revenue off $1,000 in cleaning costs. So the same thing goes with the deep clean. They screwed me on the deep clean and blah, 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 blah. It's like, well, for me, if I own a cleaning company, I want my average person to stay with me 2 or 3 years, right? So say my average client's $400 a month, $4,800 a year, it's almost $10,000 for the average client. If I spend an extra 6 hours at $20, $120, and total cost cleaning their place, and 1 out of 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 quits immediately and quote unquote tricks me, but the other 5 or 7 or 9 stay for 2 years. Do I really care about that guy? So I would shift the whole focus, Raina, from not getting screwed, because the best way to not get screwed is not be in business, right? Just don't do anything. I wouldn't really worry as much about getting screwed as I was, what's the most value I could give my clients, and what's the easiest I could make it. So they're like, well, I'd have to be a fool not to take it. This is such a good offer. And again, big asterisk, you got to make it to the right people. If you're offering this to the wrong people that can't afford your services or people of low integrity, the numbers aren't going to work. But if you're generally, and you can't be perfect, but generally offering to people, and the nice thing with residential is, the house they live in, right? If they're living in a condo or a trailer park or something valued the bottom 50% of the residential structures in your area, they're probably not a good fit. But if it's the top 20%, they're generally going to be a good fit. So, Raina, I would encourage you to stop worrying about how to save a couple $100 of, getting screwed under air quotes, and figure out how we can add a bunch of the right clients, even if a couple of the wrong clients. And so what? We gave a above and beyond service that we didn't get paid for and sent some goodwill into the world, right? So I would really look for, as opposed to what's the least I can do to get clients, what's the most I can do to get a client? Same thing goes with marketing, like as opposed to I do everything with repeat and referrals. Great if you want to stay small. If you really want to be a larger company, you want to be able to spend the most to acquire a client, not the least. All right. I feel like that was a little ranty, but we nailed it. Did I get through enough? Do we got more? What happens next, Lindsay? How'd I do?
That is actually it for this week. You did great. I think this is the most compact and precise. We've had you just bam, bam, bam. It's great.
Every now and again, I can focus. Today was the day, everyone. So again, guys, gals, if that was wildly helpful or mildly helpful, feel free to reach out, support at growmycleaningcompany.com to reach out to Lindsay. If you've got a question, join the Facebook group. You can tag her there. And again, just hit Instagram. I think that they're always trying to give away some of our content that we've done before that maybe we charge for. Tons of free stuff. If you're just enjoy hanging out and getting the show, enjoy. If you're like, no, I really want to change, reach out to somebody. We've got a ton of channels and get the help that you need. Just like I was preaching to you guys, we do the same thing. We try and give a ton of value to people before we ever ask for money. And if and when we do ask for money, it's only when they're like, oh my gosh, I really want your help. But you guys typically ask us if we can help, and we tell you what it costs as opposed before we're going to try and sell you on something. So again, take advantage. We try and give as much value as we can for absolutely no charge. And if and when you're like, man, I want some help implementing, we're happy to talk to you about that. But either way, whether you're wanting help for free or wanting help for money, or if you just are committed to grow, regardless of the cost, reach out and we'll see what we can do to help. Hey, Cleaning Nation, if you dug the content you just got, we don't do any ads and I don't sell anything on this podcast, but if you would just subscribe, rate, and review, it would be huge and I'd be so appreciative. Not only is it going to help me, but you'll help other owners of cleaning companies across the world work less, make more, and get profitable. So if you appreciate the value we give, again, subscribe, rate, and review. It would mean the world to me. I'd really appreciate it. And we sure appreciate your time and attention.